Whoa, whoa, whoa. Live. Back in effect. Oh, man. So, welcome. It's been a minute since I posted on YouTube, but yeah. I thought I would actually, obviously, get back on track and also, um, just give some updates, some motivation. You know, I know as I've been on social media a lot lately, and it might just be my algorithm. It might not be reality, but I feel like everywhere I've looked, everybody is on a fitness journey. And like I said, that could just be my algorithm because you know how that shit works is, you start looking at one thing and then they'll suggest they'll suggest so much more of that content to you. But I like to welcome y'all to this live stream. Whoever catches it, like I said, I'm gonna work to just post more to my YouTube channel in general, more shorts. I'm probably gonna cut this up into a million pieces. But yeah, welcome. So we 50% to the goal, 50% to the goal, which was 175, but now after talking and seeking physician advice, it's 165. So 10 pounds less than 175, which is cool. And yeah, I started. First of all, I've gone through many weight loss journeys, and the biggest thing is always trying to keep it off. But after losing a lot of weight before, I freaking lost the weight, and we probably went through this last one. Lost the weight, got to about 165, then gained it all back, and then some. So woke up 2025 January, 242 pounds to be exact. And yeah, it's one of those things like how many times you gotta go through this, Matt? How many times you gotta, you know, be fat? How many times you gonna uh not necessarily do the things that you deep down you want, but for whatever reason, you know, you can't seem to get done. But 50% in, um, yeah, the thing that probably sparked this is obviously not liking what I seen in the mirror, which is I feel like is could be anybody's struggle. Not liking what I seen in the daggone mirror, not liking how I was feeling, stomach, stomach starting to stomach starting to hang over the belt line, and you know, pants not fitting no more. I gotta get up and get me a pair of 40 size, size pants. And I ain't really about that. I'm trying to wear like a 30 or 32. And just honestly, if I'm just rapping and I'm keeping it a buck, not necessarily feeling my most confident when you just carrying all that weight. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Somebody else may feel different, but I don't feel as confident when I'm gaining that weight. So, or when I'm at 240 pounds. So, like I said, since we're about 50-ish% of the way through, today I'm about 207 pounds. So 30 pounds down about right now, and shit, how do we get to 30 pounds down? So we got to 30 pounds down from I started I joined a new gym. That was the first thing I did. Uh, and I worked out at the gym for about a month. And for that month, I was making a little progress. And then after that month, granted, I know how to work out. Like I said, I've transformed before, but a lot of times you go harder when it's other people doing it with you. So the next thing I did was I got a trainer. So shout out to I doubt he'll see this, but shout out to Rashid. You know, well, he's one of my trainers, but shout out to Rashid. You know, definitely dialed in my help. He's definitely helped dial in my workouts. Like, got me doing a lot of functional stuff, making sure that I'm stretching, freaking, um, and got me doing a bunch of things that are athletic, not just just throwing heavy weights everywhere. You know, but doing a lot of stuff that's athletic and really just it's so cliche, but really just man, really just working out hard, making sure I'm getting a sweat in, making sure that, while I ain't in a complete all out failure, there has to be some sort of struggle in my reps. So he definitely pushing me to that point where, you know, there's struggle at the certain reps. And after, certain amount of reps, I'm not just chilling on my phone or, just looking at, whatever, when we working out. And so that was the first thing. Obviously, got back into the gym, bam, personal trainer. Second thing, nutrition. Now this is like my really not me. It's not special to me, but this is where I struggle at because it's people out there. It's people out there who there are people out there who eat well. I mean, who eat well, but they don't want to move their body. But I'm not one of those people. As y'all can see, we out right now. I love to go for walks. Even as I was gaining weight last time, I was still going out for hella walks, doing hella active stuff. It's just I wasn't training quite as hard as I needed to. And I was just eating whatever the hell I want. But my problem has always been the motherfucking food. I can't stop eating the motherfucking food. And yeah, that's I will I am and it sounds disgusting for me to rephrase this and say this back out my mouth. It sounds mad disgusting what I'm about to say, but in certain parts of my life, I have been a person who would eat fucking Burger King every single day. Like, I would have the Bacon King from Burger King every single day. And I would do that for stretches of months. Stretches of months. You know, it's just like how you get into a rhythm where you doing stuff to lose weight. I would get into a rhythm of eating that crap. I'll get into a rhythm of eating, goddamn me, Burger King. Oh, and Popeyes came out with wings. What else? Popeyes came out with wings. Bam, that's one thing. Freaking Popeyes came out with wings. I love Burger King. What else do I eat? I love Whataburger. Whataburger. Whataburger always have a burger of the month. I would eat fast food every day, and especially me in the time where I probably gained all this weight. I probably wasn't the most stable, to where as though I was just sitting in the house every day. I didn't work the job that I have now, which kind of, I ain't gonna say it requires me to be a little bit. Well, no, the job I have now requires me to move with more of a schedule. So, granted, I'll get to the job in a minute because that's another part of this diet thing. Actually, let me get to that now. So, another part of this is um, you gain all this weight, boom, gain all this weight, and then you know my mom passes, God rest her soul. Um, dad is in the hospital, and all these other things are just happening at the same time. And I'm coming to the conclusion that as I get older, I don't want to spend a bunch of time in hospitals if I don't have to. I don't want to have to spend a bunch of time taking people's medicines if I don't have to. So that's where this started. Really, that's where it started, and is where we're going. But another thing that was kind of keeping weight on me is I started working in corporate America, and it's a double-edged sword because I'm gonna lead way into something else, and I'm gonna clip the next thing I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna clip, but I started working in corporate America, and so if y'all are on the internet, y'all see like Google, y'all see like all these tech places where people work, and it's literally free everything, free everything, free fucking food, free snacks, free, free party stuff, all that. So I will say when I started working at my job, which is a corporate job, and it's a tech company, um, the first few months, I ain't even gonna say the first few months, the first year, which is 2023 to pretty much 20, sometime in 2024, I literally ate whatever was available at my job. And for the longest time, all of the food at my job was free. They don't have a full kitchen in there, but they had unlimited snacks. So like I could be at work and I could get up from my desk and literally go get a bag of Doritos. Don't gotta pay for them. Or I could go get a honey bun. Don't gotta pay for them. I could go get apple juice. Don't gotta pay for it. I could go get a soda. Don't gotta pay for it. And that, or I could go get my my morning addiction was freaking the damn oatmeal cream pies. The damn oatmeal cream pies. So I could get up. I could go every morning and get me an oatmeal cream pie for free. And like I said, I keep saying this shit mad disgusting. Some people would find it disgusting that you're just binging all of this food, but other people are doing it too. It's not just me or that has done it. But yeah, my job was literally, I don't say it's causing me to gain weight because I'm in control of every piece of food you put in your mouth. I'm in my mouth. You know, that's on me. Every piece of food, everything I ate, literally, like shit, I ate it. The fuck, I ate that shit. But I get back to say that I was saying that was another thing that uh helped me, or well, yeah, helped me put all that weight on. And so the next thing I would say when I started changing everything around was more so when I joined Amped. So I joined Amped, and then from there, that's when I started getting into a rhythm. And that's when, and I don't know what it is for whatever reason. It's like, and I'm other people may be like this. Sometimes when I don't work out, I'll be more likely to um, eat bad. I know if I work out, I'm not gonna probably eat bad afterwards. You know what I'm saying? I'm like I literally put my body through hell, so I usually don't eat bad. Like even if it's because it is times I cheat, not a lot lately, but it's sometimes where I'll just eat whatever I want, even in the midst of trying to get some of the weight off. But usually when I do that, I ain't work out that day. So constantly having a place to work out and having somebody push me to work out, that shit actually put my mind in a better place to freaking I put my mind in a better place to um I put my mind in a better place to eat right. Just because I wasn't finna sacrifice my workout because these workouts I be doing, they be killing my ass. So I wasn't finna do all that and then just, you know what I'm saying, eat Pop Tarts. So, um, but yeah, so, and then now here's another thing. So now, obviously, I love this car. Beautiful, red, beautiful car. But, I got had one of these on the way. But, what was I saying? So that was one thing that helped. Now, another thing that helped is that, with all of the economic instability that's going on in the world, you know what my job did? They made everybody pay for these snacks. I think they closed down another place and we had a bunch of people come into our facility that normally wouldn't have been there. And it was more people just eating snacks. And then it was costing them so much money to have all these free snacks. They started making everybody pay, which obviously deters me from just walking over there and grabbing a bag of chips, you know what I'm saying? Or it deters me from walking over somewhere and grabbing a Sprite, or walking over somewhere and grabbing the oatmeal cream pie. So now, usually, only time I eat at work is really at lunch. Um, Sometimes I bring my breakfast. Um, I don't really eat, but sometimes I bring my breakfast. Um, Sometimes I bring my breakfast, which is usually like, um, sometimes I cook egg whites before I go to work. Sometimes I bring egg whites and protein shake before I go to work, or I'll bring it to work, and that'll usually be my breakfast, which is usually. And I'm starting to get mathematical with this. You know what I'm saying? I'm counting the macros. You know what I'm saying? How they tell you you got to count the macros, but I'll count the macros, and I think I can't recall it off the top of my head, but protein shake, egg whites, and spinach for breakfast usually adds up to about 300 calories. And then typically, and almost every day I eat the same thing. Typically for lunch, I'm gonna have. Typically for lunch, I am going to have ground beef or chicken. Usually that's it. I usually don't even have nothing else with it. But I usually feel satiated after I eat like a few pieces of chicken, or like baked, obviously. And that's usually it. Um, 18 minutes. So that's usually how that go. And another thing now, cause I ain't gonna say recently, I ain't hit no, well, I do be hitting plateaus, and I'll sometimes in this whole thing I'll gain a little bit weight back, and then lose it again, but it's all going into a downward spiral or downward trajectory. It's not the weight loss ain't completely linear, but it's in a downward like trajectory. It's going down as opposed to like up. So, um, but I ain't gonna lie. Lately, when you do, and that's another reason why I use trainers. When you do the same thing over and over again, a lot of times it does get boring if you work out at the same gym, if you do this and do that. So I, and this gonna be a clip. So you know what I found out? I found out that if you have insurance, sometimes where you work at, you have insurance, and that insurance will allow you to get a gym membership. Train coming. I'm gonna start that over because I'm gonna want to clip this. They gonna clip things up. All right, let's run it back. So this is one thing that I literally just found out. If you work at a job and you have insurance at that job, I personally have Blue Cross Blue Shield. You can get a gym membership almost for the same cost as your normal gym membership, which could be, anywhere from $10 to $40 at most gyms, somewhere in that realm. But you could get a gym membership through your insurance that will allow you to go to almost any gym in your area. I'm gonna say that again. There is a gym membership that you can get through your insurance that'll allow you to go to almost any gym in your area. So I recently just got this gym membership, and I'm talking about in the past week, I literally got a membership for 4 gyms. I don't know what happened. I'm back. Well, I know what happened. I had a phone call. Keep getting interrupted. So I'm going to, like I said, this part of this is for me to get this dog on clip. So, and honestly, this need to be said as many times as I need to say it. So, all right. So check this out. Check this out. If you, if you have insurance, and it may depend on what insurance that you have. I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is very popular. A lot of people have it. If you have Blue Cross Blue Shield, you can get a gym membership through your insurance that will allow you to go to almost any gym in your area. And mind you, the cost of the gym membership through your insurance is really in the same realm of what you would normally pay for your gym membership at one gym. So I recently got this gym membership this week. And yesterday I got 4 different gym memberships. So like in Texas, you could go to Fitness Connection, you could go to LA Fitness, you could go to Anytime Fitness, you could go to what's the EOS. You can go to all of these places and really just spend $30 a month. And obviously, this is cool because hey, you could try out new gyms, and then some gyms are different. And there's like rec centers, family community areas where they have like pools, like any any like facility you want to go to be active is on there. And then on top of that, if you're feeling generous, not even generous, if you got a little that bit of extra bread, you could literally pay for uh you pay like $120 a month, and you could have all of the basic ones, and then you can have all of the luxury ones as well. So you can have the basic ones and the luxury ones. So you could go to the pickleball court, you could freaking go to Lifetime, you could go to like any of the luxury gyms, plus any of the ones that are like below that. You could go to like jujitsu gyms, you could go to boxing gyms, you could go to a bunch of different types of gyms. And like I said, this is through your insurance. So like next time you're thinking about it, you just want to go like log into wherever you log in to check your stuff for your insurance, and it'll be there under like the wellness plan. So you'll look in there, bam, it'll be like the wellness plan, and then from there you look it up, and then you could pick your plan from there. And like I think the one that I have is The one I have is like $40 a month, and for $40 a month, essentially, it's like 8,000 gyms that are in Texas that I could go to. So essentially, I could go. I mean, any day of the week, I could just go somewhere else and just work out, and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I had to get that out because that's a little bit clear. But um, back to the journey. So um, food has changed. I definitely have spent a lot more money and time at HEB. It's like my favorite grocery store. You can get like a lot of like obviously they have really honestly they got some of the best prices on meat, which is the main part of my diet. I eat fruit as well, a lot of fruit as well. I eat some vegetables as well. But the main part of my diet is chicken, steak, eggs, and fruit. Really, it's like 80% of what I've been eating lately. And sometimes I'll get myself like this protein ice cream. It's really good. And the protein ice cream is like it's like a pint. It's kind of expensive, but it's like a pint. You get a pint and it's like $7 versus like I know like Ben and Jerry is like a pint, but it's like 1,000 calories. And the protein pint's about half the calories. Now it's like $3 more than Ben and Jerry, but you know what I'm saying? It's like a healthier option, and maybe the price of it. What was in my face? The price of it would deter you from just going crazy and buying mad ice cream. You know what I'm saying? So, what else can we talk about here? The next thing I probably want to talk about is mindset shift. Mindset shift. Mindset shift. So we're working on a mindset shift, and this is deeper than just a fitness type of thing because obviously we got fitness goals, but we also have like professional goals, relationship goals, all that type of stuff. And um, you know, I guess what my goal is to take the mindset that I'm using to transform my body and have that mindset and transform my business, my professional life, my performance at work, my and also like my relationships, transform my relationships with people, not even just, on some dating shit, transform, being more confident when I'm in front of people, being more confident to do stuff like this and out in public, I would say today I feel mad. I feel mad. Like, well, I feel mad confident today, even though like people kind of looking at me weird because I got this apparatus in my hand. Even the lady that was I was walking there and this lady coming up the steps and she just stopped and she was just really just staring. And granted, I have no idea what that means. She could have been, amazed and wanting to try, but she also just stopped in her tracks, like she didn't want to be on camera per se, which is obviously fine. um, but yeah, another part is, like I said, this fitness journey is to transform my thinking, my mind, um, and get back into a habit of being just disciplined, man. Um, I'm not perfect, obviously. None of us are, but I feel like fitness will lead into a lot of better things, you know. Next thing we want to talk about. What's the next thing I want to talk about? Shit, the struggle. Actually, that's actually I just started there. Let's talk about the struggles. So the hard part. So I will say this, like when you get on social media and you see like people freaking you see people having all of these crazy body transformations, like it's easy to kind of like if you're mad fat it's easy to get discouraged because, like, I mean, or if you see people on the internet and they have these crazy body transformations and you briefly get motivated, and then let me rephrase this. So, a lot of the problem is you see people on social media have these crazy body transformations and it gets you hyped up. And then obviously you get the gym membership like I said I did. You start eating some food for a little bit. You start doing all this stuff, but you have this moment where you don't actually see the results you want to see. And I've, like I said, even in this journey, because I felt like when I started, I was stuck at 230 pounds for like the longest. It's like I had lost 10 pounds, and that mother freaking scale would not move from 230. Wouldn't move. Swear it wouldn't move. But that's probably like, I would say, the biggest part of the struggle, because like when you transform your body, and here's the honest part, I've transformed my body like mad times, but somehow I always end up back. And hopefully, not even hopefully, this is the time where I'm not gonna go back. This is just gonna go up. But the struggle, a lot of times you'll do a bunch of stuff for like a month, or maybe even 2 months or 3 months, and like you won't actually see no results, or at least you won't notice. But that is actually the point where you actually have to keep going, because everybody's different. Everybody loses weight, gains weight, whatever your goal is, at a different pace. But the biggest part is to not stop. You know what I'm saying? Because hypothetically, or not even hypothetical situation, even if you never lose all of the weight, the person who is fat but works out would be better off than the person who was skinny and doesn't work out, or the person who is the person who's a cigarette smoker but they are very active is better than the person who isn't active at all. But you know, better than the person who isn't active at all but doesn't smoke. So I would say, you know, above all, regardless of how your results come, whether they come fast, they come slow, you know, you want to continue. Um, and I would say, even me, is like sometimes like shit, nigga want a cheesecake, nigga want pizza type shit. Like, they want either. And granted, sometimes they want to drink. Granted, I haven't really had no alcohol this year, 2025. But shit, it's the freaking weekend, and I'm sitting in the house drinking water. And sometimes you just want to go out and, you know, drink, socialize. But, you know, even though I know that in order to get the goal, you have to make sacrifices, I'm always a firm believer that you shouldn't like completely cut things out of your life. You just have to be better at moderating. You shouldn't completely cut out. You should, like, if you like, my nigga, have a donut, bro. Or like I even said, have some ice cream, bro. It ain't, life ain't that serious. So yeah, that's the struggle. Like, but if you're having some sort of trouble, if you're trying to lose weight and it feels like everything you're doing is not working. Look how beautiful this is. Is it gonna catch it? Look how beautiful. But if you're a person trying to lose weight and you're not losing weight, just shut up and keep going. Results gonna come. Now I can't promise you when they gonna come, but if you're doing everything right, at some point the results gonna come. It might, like I said, it might just be, what might take somebody 6 months might take you a year, or what's something you see on social media is where somebody's body is crazy. It might take you a couple of years. Real talk, like that's the other part we get fucked up. I don't think there's enough like emphasis on how long people's transformation be taking, because a lot of these people they literally show you a split second, you know, one time and then another time, and then you have no concept of how long something like that takes. So, all right, so we about 35 minutes in, and what's next? All right, so this is the positive part of this. Oh, a positive part, because I'm like, what's next? Um, so recently I started picking up boxing, and if not even I already have done boxing in the past, but I picked it back up. So if you are somebody who actually is looking to lose a lot of weight fast, and you need like some sort of workout regimen that'll take you there, boxing is probably one of the best, because if you get you a good trainer, and this may scare some of y'all, but boxing, when you're doing like any sort of training for boxing, if you have a good trainer, there's no rest period in boxing. So I went to boxing yesterday, and yeah, the entire the entire training session, my body never stopped moving. So we start out with you know light weightlifting, but heavy volume. So we got 100 pounds on a bench, but I got to do 3 sets of like 30. And then we got 40 pounds on a curl bar, but I got to do 3 sets of 15 in a superset succession the with a light shoulder press and the bench press, and combined with a squat. This is all back to back to back to back, in three um in in 3 sets that I probably maybe I stopped for about 20 seconds or 30 seconds throughout this whole thing. And most of the time you're tired. And then the real actual tiring part of boxing is the actual boxing part. Cause like, and it's weird how it works, because like, even though you're like dead tired, you'll still throw the punches. So it's like you'll be dead tired, heart rate 180 plus, and like the way that you have to train usually is with a partner. So you have to they're gonna my trainer, shout out to Ken. If you're in the Dallas area, you got to go see Ken. But usually when I'm getting tired, he gonna tap me. You know what I'm saying? He gonna boom. He gonna tap you. He gonna, hey, wake up. You know what I'm saying? It's a fight. He gonna tap you. Boom. He gonna tap you. Boom. You gonna tap you to get you to keep going. And it's like it's like any strenuous, you know, aerobic or cardio workout, but it's just there's no rest, which is usually one of the things that really will um, take you from not having really great conditioning to awesome conditioning. And really like, and granted, I'm not looking to be nobody's athlete per se. I just want to be healthy, be able to go outside, do whatever I want, and look good while doing it. Um, but usually, those how people get that great endurance is training like that. In that way where you can't really stop while you're training. You'll have some sort of strenuous exercise that doesn't really stop, or has a very, very short break in between. So boom, you three, like even like yesterday we did on beat. What was it? It was an on rhythm. I guess we call it beatboxing. So song plays and you go through a combination of punches for the length of that song. Song might be 4 minutes. Can you keep moving? And one thing people obviously, when you're boxing, you're literally probably moving every part of your body because you're moving your legs. You're obviously punching. You know, you may be crouching. Depending on if you have to slip a punch. But this literally goes on for minutes at a time, and like, not to mention, shit. Yesterday we briefly sparred. So um, yeah. If you're looking for some sort of workout that'll um, get you, have you losing a lot of weight fast, it's boxing. It's the hardest training, I would say, for any sport. And I briefly played football in high school. That was training for football is pretty rough too. But nothing gets me tired, more tired per se than training for boxing. Now, training for football got me more sore. Like I was like, because and I was, I remember when I played football for 1 year, I caught it real bad because I was notoriously late for practice. So if anybody who's ever played football knows, typically if you're late for practice, your coach gonna punish you, and and by punish you, that means flights of stairs or flights of bleachers. I think one time, I was late for a practice, and like I said, I only really made it a few months because I football. While I love football, can comment on it all day. I know I wasn't about to be nobody's football player, but um, I mean, one time I was late, and I definitely caught like a half an hour straight of just bleachers, and went home that night, and I had to ice up my freaking quads. Like, it was one of those things where it's like your body keep moving, and I kept going, but really my body couldn't take it. But I guess my body could take it, and I just kept going. But yeah, so take that back. What's next? Obviously, I said boxing. I'm gonna still be training with my peoples, um, and really that's it. I think the biggest part is just like, hey, being consistent. That's the biggest thing. That boy got to stay consistent. That boy got to keep going. Obviously, I'm finna be going to like every gym, so I might start doing some more stuff at the gym, showing what I'm doing. But I don't know. I get it, and it's probably is something I got to get over it. I feel weird bringing a camera into a gym and filming myself, which, I mean, who cares? And also, while I am doing, obviously, I'm talking about fitness today. I don't want this YouTube channel to just be fitness. I kind of want it to be just lifestyle in general. Um, Obviously, I want to start doing like some sort of motivational videos where I just talk about like defeating procrastination and doing all of these other things. But um, yeah, I really want it to be multi-verse. So it don't have to be all gym type stuff and fitness type stuff. But I think that the fitness stuff is one of the main things that really can spark. There's so many cars coming. I think the fitness stuff is one of the main things that'll spark change really in anybody. Cause like, nigga lose 100 pounds, you feel like you could do anything. Lose 100 pounds. You're like, you don't feel invincible. You don't feel like you literally have no restraint on your goals. And the crazy part is, I'm probably so confident in going through this whole like the 10th transformation is because I've successfully done it, 3 or 4 times already. So now the only thing is I'm getting older, and I'm also realizing as I'm getting older, every time I do this, it does get harder, and I have to do more. It's been I remember, like I said, being 200 pounds at age 15, and literally I got a job at a grocery store, and I was the cart person for that grocery store, and it's literally 8 hours of walking for the most part when you do that. I used to wear a pedometer on my waist, and by the end of the day, the pedometer would have like 40,000 steps. And literally, I went from 200 pounds and what was it? Probably like 200 pounds in May of that year to 140 pounds by the end of that summer. Came back to school, people ain't even recognize me. So that's a hack, though. Granted, that's a hack. Oh my god, I done stepped in some mud. That's a So this is a crazy hack, and I ain't no medical professional. If I clip this part of the thing, I'm not a medical professional who can give you feedback on this. This is just from experience. But another crazy hack to lose weight really fast is to get 20 plus thousand steps a day. If you can string together 4 months of 20 plus thousand steps, you will lose weight. Obviously, the diet is still a big part there. You may not change your diet. If you didn't change your diet, you probably still lose weight. But if you change your diet plus do that, you will rapidly lose weight. It's what that boy David Goggins did. He's talking about he was literally putting in miles. He was 300 pounds and was putting in crazy amount of steps. That'll do it. That's honestly, in my opinion, that is the actual quickest way. But I don't think most people are able to actually do something like that because obviously people go to work, people, have normal stuff to do. They don't have 8 hours to walk around every day. Like I said, when I did that, that was literally my job. I literally walked for 8 hours a day and came out. Actually, I mean, pretty good because I would do like my light calisthenics. So I had like a little, skinny cut kind of, like that natural. Not it looked like I didn't necessarily work out, but I had like the natural cut look. That's how I used to look. Probably like what was I? Probably like 17, 18. So, but yeah, I don't know what else I want to talk about. That might be the end of this live stream. Um, but yeah, I'm probably gonna clip parts of this, throw it up on the internet, and yeah. So, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave hate comments for all I care. But like, comment, subscribe. More videos on the way. Like I said, this is not just a channel for fitness content. It's just that's what is meaning the most to me right now. Um, so yeah, peace out. Appreciate it. Whoever watches, love you.